held on the campus of North Intermediate High School in Broken Arrow as TCI Cablevision of Tulsa features what might be the best game ever played between these two teams, as the Broken Arrow Tigers, ranked number 5 in the state, take on the 6th-ranked Union Redskins. Hello again, Don King, along with J.V. Haney. A great conference matchup here, the premier game in the state for this week, and also a record crowd expected of around 12,000. JV, the Broken Arrow Tigers showed us something last week, defense, and beating Owasso 17-0. Union, since we saw them in the season opener lose to Washington, they reeled off 3 wins in a row. How have they done it?
Well, when you take a look at Union High School, they've got one of the premier quarterbacks in the state. He can throw the football, talking about Justin Fuente. But when they stop Justin, they then can hand the ball to Eric Bernard, and he's going to get it on the ground. So you've got a double barrel there that you've got to stop. Last week we saw Broken Arrow against Owasso, as you mentioned. They stopped Rusty Rushing, one of the outstanding quarterbacks in the area. Now, whether they can load up and stop the double barrel offense of Union, that's going to be seen here tonight, but it's going to be a dandy.
2 good coaches. We'll visit with them when we continue with Prep Football on Channel 9.
At State Bank, we know we can't take care of your business if we're not open for business.
It's coming. 500 channels. Somebody's got to fill them. The Rogers State College Broadcasting Division can put you in the picture. Hands-on TV production techniques taught by industry professionals. Rogers State College is the only college in the state to have a licensed TV station. Get experience, get contacts, get placement. The RSC Broadcasting Division is the right call. Rogers State College, lifetime learning, close to home.
Oh, I've always dreamed of a big family room.
Wow!
Call today. Communication Credit Union at 258-7646. The credit union for all of Broken Arrow.
I've always dreamed of a convertible sports car.
Call today. Communication Credit Union at 258-7646. The credit union for all of Broken Arrow.
Welcome back to Kirkland Field as we get ready for the #1 game in the state of Oklahoma. It's Union at Broken Arrow. Bill Blankenship, the head coach of Union High School, joins us. And Bill, for the 5th game of the season, this has to be one of the biggest games these two schools have ever played at this point.
Well, you're probably right. This is always a big game just because it's Broken Arrow and Union. We know each other. You know, we're backdoor neighbors, but it takes on an added dimension when we know that Broken Arrow is probably one of the favorites in our district, and so it's a playoff matchup, no doubt about it.
When you look at the #1 team in the state in defense, Broken Arrow. Union, the #2 team in the state in offense. My goodness, who's going to come out on that, and what will really be the keys, Bill?
Well, I think Phil hit the nail on the head earlier in the week. You know, that may not be the key matchup. It may be the Union defense and the Broken Arrow offense, and then like we talked about the other night, JV, and then you got to throw the special teams in there. I mean, it's a 2 out of 3 deal, and the team that wins is going to have to dominate more than one side of the ball.
Well, one thing for sure, a great night for football. The weather should have no problem. How about the health of the Redskins?
Well, we're in good shape. We're, you know, no excuses. We're here. The track is fast. The turf is in great shape here, and it ought to be a great night to watch football.
Best of luck, Bill.
Thank you, JV.
Bill Blankenship, the head coach at Union High School, as we move to Phil Angeri, the head coach of the Broken Arrow Tigers. And Phil, I know as a head coach, you have never beaten Union. And you've been pointing toward this. The kids have been pointing toward it since you went into camp in August, and it's here tonight.
That's right. This is a great opportunity for Broken Arrow Public Schools. We've got a chance to showcase a good football program against a great football program. So, you know, we're excited about it. We're excited about the opportunity to get the chance to play Union in a game of this magnitude.
Well, it's certainly refreshing to come to the stadium at 6 o'clock in the afternoon for a 7:30 kickoff and see fans already gathering. So they are expecting the same type of game that we are, and your #1 defense in the state going to have a lot riding on their shoulders tonight.
I'll tell you what a big ball game this is going to be. You know, it's going to be a packed house. You know, our defense is really prepared for it all week, but it's tough to simulate what Justin Fuente does. But we think we've got a good game plan. And like Bill said, hey, it's got to be our offense got to step up a notch this week. We've got to move the ball. We've got to keep Justin Fuente and Steele and Bernard on the bench.
When you take a look at the two ball clubs, it seems like the last 2 years it's gone to the last series that the team could win or lose the last time they touched the football. Do you anticipate the same type game tonight?
Hey, I tell you, it's going to come down to the team that makes the least mistakes. It could be a field goal, could be an extra point, could be a block punt. It's going to be one of those games where momentum's going to shift, and hey, it's all over. And I tell you what, this is what high school football is all about.
Hey, it's here, Coach. Good luck to you tonight.
Thank you very much.
Phil Langeri, the head coach of the Broken Arrow Tigers. Stay with us. Don King will have the starting lineup in just a moment.
Rice, only a good energy food for the active athlete. No, it's also the best initial treatment for sprained joints. Are we advocating putting rice on a sprained ankle? Not exactly. You see, rice is a memory word for rest, ice, compression, and elevation, the best beginning treatment for injured joints. Apply compression carefully. Remember, a wrinkled or too tight ACE wrap can act like a tourniquet. Then elevate and rest the extremity and pack it in ice. When in doubt with any extremity injury, remember, ice is nice.
We're set and ready to go. Union, number 6 in the state. They lost their season opener to Washington, but since then they've reeled off 3 impressive wins. Meanwhile, Broken Arrow 4 in a row to start the season. We hope you saw their victory over Owasso last week, 17-0. Broken Arrow won the toss, but decided to defer, and they will kick off to Chad Dainty, number 47, or number 16, Dustin Steele. So immediately, JV, Broken Arrow apparently is going to say, come on and take us on. And here's a look at the matchup. Broken Arrow with the state's best defense. 1 touchdown is all they've yielded in their first 4 games. Union, it says there, the state's second best offense statistically, but against the competition they've played, you'd have to think they might be number 1. A wild bounce that Eric Bernard has to go back into the end zone and get. And so this will be an automatic touchback and give Union a first down at the 20 as we get underway in what could be the biggest crowd ever here at Kirkland Field. Week number 5 of the prep football season is being brought to you by State Bank, by RSC TV, Rogers State College Television, by Eastern Oklahoma Orthopedic Center and Sports Medicine Center, and by the Williams Companies. Union quickly out on first down. No huddle. Fuente hands to Bernard. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. 1 yard, and that's all. And the 3-4 defense, which relies heavily on the linebackers, stuffs Bernard on the first play.
And keep in mind, those linebackers, Don, are so quick and so strong that Broken Arrow has. And I agree with Phil Langeri. I would start with the defense just like he's done.
Bernard is an outstanding running back, over 1,000 yards a year ago, on his way this year. Offensive line, which to me, JV, has been the surprise of this team.
It really has been.
Pressure for Fuente, but not before he gets rid of it to the tight end, Gwilliam, Chad Gwilliam, who's hauled down about 3 yards shy of the first down marker. On the stop, it looked like Chris Tolles there, number 1.
That was Chris Tolles, and he really came up and planted a good one in there. A good, just good movement in there, defensive secondary, almost a first down.
Gain of 8, 3rd and 1 from the 29-yard line. Fuente will hardly ever run the football. He ran for a touchdown last week, however, the win over Muskogee. Bernard looks for a hole and gets the first down. Gets 4 as he crosses the 30. He was stopped there by the big nose guard, number 72, Brandon Touye. 290 pounds. What a game he had a week ago. Averaging 10 tackles a game. He had 15 in the win over Owasso.
When you go down that defensive line of Broken Arrows, Don, there's so many of them in the line as well as the linebackers. It's had over 40 tackles so far this season. That's tremendous.
Quick drop for Fuente. Has Dane Ivory open, who splits the backs and gets another first down up to the 44-yard line. Dane Ivory, he is their 3rd leading receiver coming in with 8 catches. Actually, the 4th leading receiver with 8 catches. Dustin Stills, their leading receiver, 2nd in the league with 28, and quickly they work. Bernard, nothing doing. Stuffed at the line of scrimmage, falls forward for maybe a yard, and Touye again on the defense.
And it doesn't take long with that no-huddle offense that the Union Redskins run for Fuente to get the ball club right back on the line of scrimmage, and they're ready to go. But here in the first series, it doesn't seem that it's really affected the defensive play of the Tigers.
Brian Douglas is the middle linebacker, number 33 for BA. He calls the defensive sets. Lovell, one of the other linebackers on the defensive line. They blitz Douglas. He's picked up. All alone is Ritter, who makes a diving catch for a first down at the Tiger 41-yard line. Nathan Ritter, who was the player of the game a couple of years ago in this contest, picks up 13.
And that's one of the great things about Justin Fuente, Don. He's able to pick out. He's got 3 great receivers out there in Ritter, in Ivory, as well as Dustin Steele, so he doesn't have to go one dimension. He can go to 3 different people, and he picks them out well.
Down to the Tiger 41. Bernard, the only running back. 3 receivers to the near side, as you see. Nothing doing much for Bernard. Give him 2, according to our statistician, Jim Trickett. Give Lance Newell, number 42, the tackle. Newell's a 6 foot, 185-pound junior, weak side linebacker. Broken Arrow on defense starts 8 seniors, 2 juniors, and a sophomore. Meanwhile, the Redskins will start 10 seniors. The only underclassman is a sophomore offensive lineman, number 50, Steve Wiedauer, 6'2", 225-pound guard. 2nd down, 8. Play action for Fuente, who has plenty of time. Ritter inside the 20, down to the 16-yard line. Number 28 making the stops, Eugene McCarty, the left cornerback.
And Don, you had just made the comment about the effectiveness of the offensive line for Union, and you'll see in this play here plenty of time. There was a defender coming from the backside, but they do keep them off. And if you get that much time and can throw the ball like Justin Fuente, here you see him set up, and he's just waiting for someone to break loose, and eventually Ritter will do it. He'll curl back in right in the open area, and just a great offensive play when you have the time to do it.
One of the players on the tackle is still down. There's a look at Justin Fuente, 6'3", 210, as you see his numbers. JV, the thing is so interesting about this kid who's being recruited by major colleges is that he's only thrown 3 interceptions this season in 117 attempts.
You know, that is really remarkable because he has played, Don, against top quality opposition. Now, had he been playing against teams that were not as good, but you take the likes of Fort Smith, Washington, Muskogee, he's really played against some good ball clubs.
John Brazil, a very key member of that Broken Arrow secondary, comes out. Number 15, he returned an interception last week, 50 yards for a touchdown. Bernard on the sweep and has some room. Down to the 5-yard line he goes. The black shirts were there to make sure he didn't get any farther, but he comes close to the first down marker, and Union is marching away. They got a dozen in this play.
And we talked about the double-barrel offensive threat that the Union Redskins has, and I think this is a very good example of it right here, how quick that Bernard can get outside, and once he gets out around the corner, why, he's got so much speed, it's very difficult for him to catch.
5th first down on the drive, which is now at the Broken Arrow Tiger 3-yard line. Maurice Wallace, a sophomore, number 17, is in place of Brazil, and certainly keep your eye on that as Bernard gets nothing. on the 1st and goal play. And keep in mind, this is a Broken Arrow defense that's given up just 1 touchdown in their first 4 games.
I'm sure this is one of the game plans that Union had coming in as well, Don, is to keep the defensive team on the field as long as they possibly can on each series. I'm sure they'd like to score every time, but you can't do that.
Fuente got him. Dustin Steele's first catch of the drive, and it's good for 6. And for Steele, that's his 3rd touchdown catch of the year. And for Fuente, his 10th TD pass already in the season. And what numbers he has put up throughout his career. That's his 46th career touchdown pass.
You won't find a drive going 80 yards engineered any better than Justin Fuente did that one.
Nathan Ritter, one of the better kickers in the area, tries to tack on the extra point into the tree. And it's good. So it took almost 4 minutes. They went 80 yards. They did it in 11 plays, and an impressive drive by the 6th-ranked Redskins who draw on the board first. Now it'll be interesting to see how Broken Arrow's offense does against a Union defense that's yielded some points as you take a look at the TD pass.
Throws it to one of his favorite receivers, number 16, Dustin Steele, and he just walks in with it.
You know, the thing, JV, about the difference between Union's offense, as you see the scoring drive, and Owasso's offense from a week ago, is that Owasso, you can pretty much pinch them in, and that's what the 3-4 defense allows you to do. That's what Broken Arrow tries to get you to do, pinch you inside. And Union doesn't allow you to do that. They force it out so much with 3-4 receivers and only a single back. It's very difficult on a 3-4, I would think.
It is a difficult situation for them, and especially when you have 3 receivers that can move, get open, and catch the football the way Union's can.
Short kick up near the 25-yard line. Boy, you can hear the hitting, can't you? Wow. 44, Leon Walker, close to the 25 in that last drive of Union's. Justin Fuente was 5 of 5 for 60 yards.
And he had every pass right on target. There wasn't any outstanding, spectacular catches made. He throws it in there where you can catch it. Receivers must love him.
Well, Brett Irvin, who was helped off the field after pregame warm-ups, is out there. First down, split backs. He goes upstairs. Complete. Andrew Kernan drives for the first down. And that sets the tone for BA's offense.
It really does set the tone, and that's a big first play, a big first down. Certainly has to give the Broken Arrow Tigers a lot of confidence, and I wouldn't believe what I'm seeing right off the bat, Don. I just felt this would be more of a defensive game, but we may be in for one of the highest scoring games we've seen.
Unusual for these two teams when they meet.
That's right.
Gain of a dozen on the last pass play to Kernan. They only threw on first down once last week. So that really sets the tone. Heathington breaks loose for a first down to midfield. And the leading runner for Broken Arrow finds daylight into Redskin territory. That's good for 15.
Bill Blankenship was worried about the Broken Arrow offense, and rightfully so, because they certainly are getting cranked up here in the early going.
Union, 48-yard line. After a gain of 12 and then a big run by Heathington, Irvin, the quarterback. Junior, who came in last year mid-season and really sparked this offense. Fumbles the football, still loose on the ground. I think Anthony Manns might have covered it, and apparently he did at about the 43-yard line, and that'll be good for about 5. Let's take a look at this one.
You'll notice that Britt gets hit just as he gets ready to make the pitch right there. Pretty good blow, and he makes it out, and not a real good one. Very difficult for Anthony Manns to hold on to, but he fumbles it to his direction.
I thought Manns might have coughed it up again, but apparently held on. Down to the Union 43. Second and a long 5. Quick drop. Irvin fires. Look out. Intercepted. Dane Ivory. He might go all the way to the 40. To the 30. Heathington
make sure he doesn't go any farther, and the Redskins come up with a huge play. 44 yards on the return by Dane Ivory, who's the only two-way starter on this Union team.
Have a flag on the field on the interception return. A clipping penalty is called, but here we get a good opportunity to see the quickness of Ivory. He kind of juggled it for a second, but is able to maintain control, and then he takes off to the near side. An excellent return. Going to cost him 15 yards in there in the meantime, but still great field position for the Union Redskins.
What a backbreaker that is for Broken Arrow, and both coaches were amicable and agreeable when it came to momentum, and right now it's all going Union's way. It'll be 1st and 10. They set up at the BA 48-yard line. Look out. They fake the reverse to steal, throw the screen, and Lovell's there. And number 5, the transfer from Bartlesville, rather, drops him for a big loss back into Union territory.
Great defensive reading on the part of the Tigers that time. That was kind of a razzle-dazzle. Looked like it might be a reverse, and then suddenly the screen pops up, the pass, and the Tigers right in there.
Again, early in this game, Broken Arrow losing their strong safety, John Brazil, who limped off, and sophomore Maurice Wallace into the game. Another sophomore at free safety, Jeremy Tolles. 2nd and 16. Look at Fuente going deep. Man there. Nathan Ritter again. Ritter, who's 3rd on the team in receptions, but leads the team at 19 yards a catch and in touchdown receptions with 4.
And you just can't point out enough times what a great job thus far in the game the offensive line is doing for Union. They are certainly giving Justin Fuente plenty of time to throw the football.
3 receivers. Fuente play action. The blitz is on. Lovell runs right past him, and a flag will be down here on McCarty, and that is no doubt pass interference as he banged into Steele before the ball got there. I don't think there's any question on that one.
Not much doubt on that one, Don. He had him wrapped around before the football ever got to him, and tough break. It's just being a little bit overeager. You don't like to see those penalties come up, but nevertheless, you've got to have aggressiveness on the part of your defensive players. And here we'll see Justin Fuente eluding the tacklers in the backfield. Well, we didn't get to see it, but very good call there as Sam Ridd came right up and just wrapped him up.
Hal Dietz is our referee. We have a very experienced crew. Dean Duggar, Richard Lausch also on this officiating crew.
Along with Tom McKenna. Very, very experienced crew.
It's 1st and 10, and 1st down. 6th of the night. Look at Gwillim. Is that going to be a fumble? Yes, it is. He picks it up. Chris Toes. He's got blockers in front. Goodbye, Chris Toes. Touchdown, Broken Arrow. Chad Gwillim took a shot after he caught the ball. I mean, that was a major league hit. And then Chris Tolles, the 6'4", 190 senior, free safety, who's being recruited by the likes of Texas A&M, gets the benefit of the great hit put in by Tyquan Gullet. Here's Charlie Enix with the extra point to try and tie the game. And the crowd tells you the story. I don't think I've ever seen a defense, JV, not only that has been this good in a while, I don't think I've seen a defense in the 7 years we've been covering prep football on Channel 9 that take advantage of scoring on defensive plays. 2 interceptions for touchdowns last week. Here, Chris Tolles picks up a fumble and races about 70 yards. And let's take a look at it, because it was a thing of beauty.
Now, this was really a lot of razzle-dazzle going on behind. It really looked like that Eric Bernard had the football, and what a great hit in there, Don, as you put out by Taekwon Philly. And once Tolles gets the ball, you're not going to catch him. We saw that in the Owasso game here in Broken Arrow last week.
So Jeremy Tolles last week goes 98 yards with an interception at the end of the game to ice that one over Owasso 17-0. And here his older brother, Chris, comes up with a huge play when he picks up a fumble and races 70 yards to tie the game at 7 with 4:43 remaining first period.
Don, you really made a good point. I just can't recall off the top of my head a defense that has been so offensive structured as this Broken Arrow defense has, because they were responsible for this 17 points last week.
Phoenix, who last time bounced one into the end zone, this time he rifles one on a liner into the end zone, and so Union needs to go 80 yards. They did it last time, and a flag's down at the 20-yard line. A couple of players scuffling. This will be a personal foul on the Tigers, and this will move it up to the 35. And boy, you just can't make mistakes like that and give Justin Fuente and this Union offense 15 extra yards.
And I'm sure that they're going to be visiting with the players. The defensive coaches on the Broken Arrow sideline will be visiting with them about that very thing. But there was a little yapping I detected a few minutes ago. It can be expected in a game like this. This is a big ball game for both ball clubs, and I'm sure it's not malicious. It's just they're both higher than a kite and tight as a fiddle string.
Well, the Broken Arrow turnover didn't hurt them. We're tied at 7. First turnover in 2 games. Draw play, Bernard. What a block. Almost to midfield. He picks up a dozen. That's good for a first down.
Mike Cottrell that time really sprang Eric Bernard loose, as you said, Don, with a great block right there at the line of scrimmage. And you don't have to give Bernard much of room to get out of there.
Bernard again breaking loose. We'll pick up 6, 7, maybe 8. Close to the 45-yard line, a Broken Arrow. Look at the whole no huddle.
It doesn't take long. They're ready to go again.
And
they're able to do that a lot of times. They'll draw them into the neutral zone and pick up an additional 5 yards on the penalty.
I mentioned last week, JB, one of the keys to BA's 17-0 win over Owasso was no turnovers. They had a turnover here, but it didn't hurt them because Broken Arrow's defense caused a turnover. Chris Tolles picked it up and, of course, raced 70 yards for the game-tying touchdown. Here we have a whistle, and we'll see what this is all about. An official timeout. 9 first downs for Union in this game. 3 of them thanks to penalties. We got another penalty against Broken Arrow or what? Nope, they're going to reset the play. Joey Marks in at defensive end, number 50. He's been playing quite a bit.
On 6'2" youngster, he would have caught the football.
Yeah. Last week, JV, when the 2 interceptions were returned for touchdowns, one by Brazil of 50, one by Jeremy Tolles at 98. As never pointed out, both of those guys are backup quarterbacks. Chris Tolles picks up a fumble, races 70 yards. He's also probably their best wide receiver. Shovel pass to Bernard. What a call. He'll get close to the first down marker, skips loose, gets the first down.
Do you get a feeling that you're kind of watching the University of Tulsa play, Don? The no-huddle offense, the little shuffle pass that John Fitzgerald was so effective with against Oklahoma State. And you know, that's not an easy play to complete.
Down to the Tiger 30. Bernard slips through again. Brian Douglas, the middle linebacker who had an older brother, Tim, play for BA, makes the stop after a gain of 5. And again into the no huddle. 2nd and 5. We're winding down the opening period, tied at 7. Union's on the move again. 3 wide receivers out. Long count, might have checked off, changed the play. Bernard stopped once and dropped in the backfield. Douglas comes up to make the play on Bernard, who loses 2.
The play before with Eric Bernard, I think, really demonstrated his ability as a running back. When he hit the line and the hole was closed, he just slid off to his right. He's really able to pick up the little seam, the little creases, the little openings, and pick up an extra few yards.
3rd and 7. They haven't had many 3rd down plays. Flag down, Steele down as he catches it for an apparent 1st down at about the 15-yard line, close to the 15. But let's check the penalty. The linesman threw it, or the side judge, and we will have to see. Usually that could be holding, usually is holding against Union. We'll see what Hal Dietz says as Bill Blankenship and the Union staff look on. No, it's procedure.
I'm sure one of the wide receivers was up on the line of scrimmage that time. We weren't where we could actually see, but that's happens so much of the time. They'll get that extra man up on the line.
Two of the 3 largest schools in the state going at it. Broken Arrow, the largest school in the state, 3,900 in attendance per day. Norman is 2nd, and Union's 3rd at 2,670 students per day. After the 5-yard penalty, make it 3rd and 12 from the Broken Arrow 32-yard line. Fuente looks like he'll set up in the shotgun, gets the snap back from Mike Cottrell. That'll bring up 4th down. Nathan Ritter would have to try a 50-yard field goal. He has a field goal this year, but obviously not from that distance. So probably Dustin Steele will drop back and punt. Or are they going to go for it? Looks like they might go for it on 4th down. They're looking over to the side, and apparently they are. Blankenship went for it a lot on 4th down last week in the win over Muskogee, and the BA fans are on their feet. Fuente runs out of time, still gets it, still no 1st down yet until he gets thrown for the 1st down inside the 15 and a face mask to add on.
Extremely cool and collected, Justin Fuente. Looked like he was going to be taken down behind the line of scrimmage for a sack. Hangs around until he can find a receiver.
And Broken Arrow gets hit with another penalty. Let's take a look.
He had to wait a long time before finally finding Nathan Ritter, and then Ritter gets a pretty good block right in there by Dustin Steele that lets him get a couple of extra yards, and then once Tolles throws him while he's in there for the 1st down, but just a little icing on the cake with a face mask penalty.
Down to the 8-yard line, 1st and goal after the penalty on Jeremy Tolles for the face mask. Minute 44, 1st period. Misdirection, trap play, Bernard. Look at him slide his way through for Union's 2nd touchdown.
He's a tough little cookie. Certainly Bill Blankenship feels that Eric Bernard, even though he's only 5'10", 172, is definitely a Division I football player and is being recruited by Division I schools.
Look at those band uniforms for Union. Those rather bright.
They are colorful.
They really are. Union put on a great band performance before the game thanks to L. Dale Barnett and his 200-piece band. Extra point kick by Ritter, who made that big catch and then got the face mask ripped. Kicks the extra point. So it is Union 14, Broken Arrow 7, minute 37 remaining in the first period.
Great run in there by the senior running back, Eric Bernard from Union.
This is a Union team that's been averaging 33 points a game against a Broken Arrow defense that had given up just 1 touchdown in their first 4 games. Now the story with Union leading 14-7 is, can Broken Arrow's offense move a little bit and give the defense some time off the field? Union has 11 first downs in this first period, and there's the drive. 9 plays, 80 yards, 3 minutes. The big play was 4th and 12. They went for it, got 17 for the first down, and then a face mask penalty on top of that. Ritter booms this one, taking it about the 5. Larry Davis seen his first action in many a days. He's been out with a broken jaw, and he just tests that to the nth degree. He'd been out with a broken jaw, gets back for the kickoff return, and then he has his face mask yanked. That's got to hurt.
Well, he wasn't running much north and south, but he was sure doing some east-west running on that kickoff return.
Well, let's hope he's not re-injured his jaw, because that's certainly got to be of concern, just getting back and then have your jaw. Oh my.
Oh yes, yes, he really. I think that's one penalty, though, Don, that happens that really looks bad on the person that committed it. That sometimes you're just grabbing, and you get your hand caught, you grab it, and you don't really intentionally go for the face mask. As we look at the penalties there, Union penalized 3 times for 35 yards, Broken Arrow 4 times for 43 yards, and that's quite a few penalties here in the first quarter, but that's a hard-fought game as well.
They'll bring the ball out past the 20 to about the 22-yard line. Davis is probably the fastest player on the BA team. He had been out for the last couple of games with a broken jaw and an off-field out-of-school incident. Nice to see him back, because he certainly adds yet another dimension to that Broken Arrow offense. Larry Davis, averaging 17 yards a catch. First down from the 22 for Brett Urban at quarterback. Changes the play at the line of scrimmage. Gets the snap from Tony Baker. And on first down again. Oh, he can't hang on to it. Kernan, guarded by Ivory. Would have been enough for a first down.
Just a little behind him. I thought first that one of the other receivers kind of flared out there in the flat, and I thought he intended for him and overthrew him.
Union starts 10 seniors on offense, 10 seniors on defense, and 1 junior. In fact, of the top 30 players, 23 are seniors as you take a look at the total offense. It's been dominated by Union in this first period, which is about to come to a close. A minute remaining. Heathington loses 2. Davis checks back in, brings in a play. He replaces Clay Ross, one of the wide receivers. Davis had 7 touchdown catches a year ago. He comes to the left, to the near side, split out with Chris Tolles, and will probably have too much time with 22 seconds remaining on Broken Arrow. That's what it's going to be. It was 3rd and 12. It's now going to be worse. 3rd and 17.
Very costly penalty there.
Ball is on the 16-yard line. Beg your pardon, so it'll be 3rd and 16. Urban needs a big play. Pressured. He stayed on his feet and then stumbles down near the goal line. They'll mark it inside the 5, down to the 1, and he comes up limping. A loss of 14, 15 yards on that play, and now he's got to go back and punt from his end line. Wow.
And it really looked like that he was favoring his right ankle, so that would have to bear in mind with him as he gets ready to punt.
Can't tell who was on the sack. We'll try and give that to you when we come back. One period's been played. When we come back, Broken Arrow has to punt against the wind, trailing Union 14-7 on Channel 9.
FM, rock and roll, news, jazz, sports. The Rogers State College Broadcasting Division can put you in the control room.
FM 91.3, your classic hits.
Live on-air experience and hands-on audio production taught by industry professionals.
Bonnie Raitt, The Beatles, Elton John, keep it right here.
Get experience, get contacts, get placement. The RSC Broadcasting Division is the right call. Rogers State College, lifetime learning close to home.
Okay, gang, who are we here for? Who keeps us in business? What's our #1 priority? Who are we going to make smile today? Who are we going to make smile today? Come on!
All right, here we go. Back to action. Broken Arrow punts from their end zone. Brett Irvin limps off the field as he punts one about 22 yards. It was partially blocked. He might have been run into after the punt. He's certainly in pain. A 22-yard punt that actually took a bounce and headed down toward the Broken Arrow goal line. It was down by Leon Walker, I believe. So here is Union. Great field position at the Broken Arrow 23-yard line to start the second period. Already up by 7, and Fuentes back to pass, but first we have a penalty.
The 5-yard penalty goes back to, on that delay of game, an exceptionally large penalty that hurt the Broken Arrow Tigers there to put them right up the back against the wall, and then having the quarter time to elapse. They have to punt against the wind on just some real bad breaks there, and you can see the wind in the northeast corner of the stadium here really is gusting now.
There shows you the first period time of possession. Union 8.5 minutes to Broken Arrow's 3.5. First downs also critical. 11 for Union, 3 for BA. Fuente, play action. Rolls out, fires. Caught by Steele after Wallace, the sophomore, missed it when he dove to knock it away to the 5-yard line.
Here you see Justin Fuente. He will thread that ball between Ross and Gullett. Just threads it in there with 2 defenders and is able to complete his pass in there to Dustin Steele.
23 yards. They call Steele MacGyver because he can do everything. He had a brother also play for Union. Dennis Steele is just that kind of athlete, much like his brother, Dustin. Bernard, yes, touchdown, Union. Bernard's second of the game. And his 10th of the season. And the Redskins lead it now 20-7.
And once Eric Bernard gets out, Don, and he can stretch the defense out, it looks like they're going to catch him, but he was able to tippy-toe right around the pylon there for the TD.
Kick by Ritter. Just gets through. It's good. Big crowd here tonight at Kirkland Field, maybe the biggest ever Union is certainly here in mass, as are the Tiger fans. You see the Redskin fans on the far side, and next week we'll follow Union to Jinx. Watch the Redskins and the Trojans.
Don, in the gaps, they have to be standing 15 to 20 deep in almost every area. So, and there is, you couldn't squeeze anyone in the stands anywhere. Take a look at the Union side, a very happy group of Union Redskin fans that followed them here to Broken Arrow.
10:46 remaining in the first half. Union got the opening drive, marched 80 yards, make it 7-0, forced Broken Arrow, actually came up with an interception, and then they threw it. It was fumbled. The tight end was crushed as he caught the football for Union. Chris Tolles picked it up for BA, raced 70 yards to tie the game midway in the first period. Union then scored late in the first period. Now they've scored here early in the second. And Larry Davis watches this one bounce into the end zone. And so Broken Arrow will start shop, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Let's see if Irvin's back out or Jeremy Tolles. I get the feeling they'll go with Tolles, and they will at quarterback. Irvin is apparently being hampered by a possible torn muscle in his leg, in which he injured 2 weeks ago. Played well last week in the slot, but here we go with the young sophomore, Jeremy Tolles. Very excited about this young man at QB. Anthony Mans gets about 5 before he's stopped by number 47, Chad Dainty, 3-year player on this Union team, senior free safety.
Yeah, when you're 6'2", 190-pound sophomore, and have an opportunity to play as much quarterback as he is obviously going to play this year, why, he has a great career ahead of him. Some good handoff, good work in there.
BA starting this drive at the 20. Their other 2 drives have been in similar situations, 25 and the 22. Tolles on the pitch. Heathington in trouble. Look at him juke his way almost back to the line of scrimmage. Apparently he did so.
I think there was a little bit of experience you may have seen right there with Jeremy Tolles on the snap. He was actually kind of backing out as the snap was made and was not really down under there, and we might look at that, Don, in the future for a fumble that could occur with him.
Andrew Kernan, the wide receiver to the near side, one-on-one coverage with Rashawn Greer. Tolles looks for him, then looks to the other side, throws a screen to Heathington, who needs a block, can't get it, picks up about 3 to the 28-yard line, and it'll be 4th down and 2.
Union defense, I think, has been underrated, Don. Of course, they go back, and when you look at figures, the fact that Washington scored so many points on them in the first ball game has been a factor there that's brought their stats down, but they certainly displayed a good defense here so far tonight.
Well, they played some very good teams. Washington put 41 on the board against them. Fort Smith Northside, a very good team, scored some points against them. And so did Muskogee last week with 27. Adam Burke, the starting tight end, hunts it to steal at the 40. Dust into the 50, and that's it. Nevertheless, gets 11 yards and sets up in Broken Arrow territory. 32-yard punt. There's your total offense. Justin Fuente and Eric Bernard have been exceptional in this first half against an outstanding defense.
And the Union offense have had great field position on almost every drive they've taken.
8.5 minutes to go, first half. Broken Arrow's defense would like a turnover. Dustin Steele inside the 25-yard line. One thing about the black shirts is Gollett makes the tackle after the pickup at 25. There are always plenty of black shirts around to make the stop.
They pursue the football well, but what a night Justin Fuente is having. And as soon as he completes that pass, he immediately looks to the bench to get the play, walk right up to the football and ready to go in action again.
3 wide outs to the left. Instead, Bernard to the right. inside the 15. He'll be close to the first down marker. Maybe a yard shy. Eric Bernard, transfer out of Midwest City, Albert, where last year as a junior rushed for over 1,000 yards. Here he fell down. That'll still set up a 3rd and short after a loss of a yard. They're at the 16. They need to get to the 14. Not much pressure has been applied to Fuente in passing situations. Only a couple of times have they been able to hurry him. And this might be, I would imagine, motion. We'll check. Seemed as though they got the play underway in time. The wind is at Union's back at about 10 miles per hour. Not much of a factor.
Well, you can't say enough about the offensive line that Justin Fuente has in front of him.
You really can't, because that was a little bit of a question mark coming in, wasn't it?
I think that's what Bill Blankenship told us, Don, if I recall correctly, when we were here for the Big Four scrimmages before the season started, that really was a concern of the entire staff. But the offensive line coaches have certainly brought this group together because they just don't touch the quarterback.
Screen, nobody there. Bernard got tied up. And that'll bring on 4th down.
And just as I say that, he got rid of the ball, but Joey Marks was right back there searching him.
Search and destroy. Well, Fuente will hold for Nathan Ritter, who has a field goal this season. I believe it was 31 yards. He's certainly capable of booting this one. This will be a 38-yard. It's on its way. It's got plenty of distance, and it is good. So the Union Tigers, or Union Redskins, excuse me, have had the ball 5 times, and they've scored 4 of the 5 possessions. 6:53 remaining first half, and the Redskins leading Broken Arrow 24-7.
Rice, only a good energy food for the active athlete. No, it's also the best initial treatment for sprained joints. Are we advocating putting rice on a sprained ankle? Not exactly. You see, rice is a memory word for rest, ice, compression, and elevation, the best beginning treatment for injured joints. Apply compression carefully. Remember, a wrinkled or too tight ACE wrap can act like a tourniquet. Then elevate and rest the extremity and pack it in ice. When in doubt with any extremity injury, remember, ice is nice.
Oh, I've always dreamed of a big family room.
Wow!
Call today. Communication Credit Union at 258-7646. The credit union for all of Broken Arrow.
I've always dreamed of a convertible sports car.
Call today. Communication Credit Union at 258-7646. The credit union for all of Broken Arrow.
.653. You see the flagpole. If we can zoom in there sometime, you can see how deep the crowd is. I mean, it is 10, 12 deep underneath the flagpole. First down from the 20 after the kick. Field goal by Ritter. He kicks it into the end zone. Here's a quick out to Clay Ross, who will get about 5 yards. Jeremy Tolles, the quarterback.
Dane Ivory on the tackle reacted very quickly, coming up and holding the completed pass to around 5 yards. There we get a look at the northeast quadrant of the stadium there around the flagpole, and you can see they're 10, 15. They're deep, hanging on, trying to get up there just to get a glimpse of what's happening on the playing field.
Standing room only. Tigers on 2nd and 5. Can't get anything on 2nd down. That's really hurt them. They'll pick up a yard here. Heathington gets about a yard, and that's it. Yeah, I agree with you, JB. This Union defense is better than a lot of people have given them credit for in the first half of the season. But you have to look at who they played against. Tulsa, Washington put 41 on the board. They beat Fort Smith Northside 29-28. They won at Ponca City 55-15, a breather there. Last week against Muskogee, they won 38-27. Tolles needs 4. Instead, goes for the bundle. Chris Tolles is there. His brother had it, then lost it, and he keeps it. It's a catch by Tolles. It looks as though he might have lost it, and Rashawn Greer had his hand in it, and it appeared to me that Chris Tolles took it back away from him. Nevertheless, it's a big 3rd down pass play from Jeremy Tolles, the sophomore quarterback, to the junior receiver, or the senior receiver, Chris Tolles.
And he slipped just before he set up to throw. It's a remarkable throw that he could throw it as far downfield as he did. And you see his brother come right around and get the ball. He held on to it all the way.
I beg your pardon, Chris Tolles. Gain of 42, down to the Union 32. And for Broken Arrow, that's their 4th first down of the game, I believe.
Pass interference was called naturally since it was a completed pass. And you can see here,
I thought he took it away from him right there. But no.
His hand slipped out, and Chris Tolles just hangs on to it. And naturally, Broken Arrow declines the penalty and keeps the completion.
Big play there. Broken Arrow could really use something, and they give it to the speedster Mance. He gets bumped out at the 20-yard line. Still a big run for the BA offense as Kelly Heathington put on a great block to spring the play loose, and Heathington gets up slowly. There's some hitting going on out there, Coach.
There really is, Don, and that was a great option play there by Chris Tolles. He had Mans out there, made a perfect pitch to him.
Well, Broken Arrow, after the gain of 9, faces 2nd and 1 from the Redskin 23. Heathington's out of the game, and Brandon Robinson, number 30, is in at fullback. Fake to Robinson. Tolles keeps. Nice play. Gets the first down. And more. Well, that's just athletic ability right there, don't you think?
I agree with you. A tremendous athlete for only a sophomore, and showing great courage as well, Don. And this is such a big series for Broken Arrow. They really need to go down and put the ball in the end zone. Trailing 24-7, they close that gap to 10 points, and certainly gives them momentum here that they so desperately needed.
Gain of 15 on the last play, down to the Redskin 8. BA fans are on their feet. They smell points until Kelly Heathington gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage. This is the 10th meeting between these two schools. Union has won 6 to Broken Arrow's 3. Redskins, though, have won the last 4 meetings. And we have covered last several years of this rivalry. 2 of them have been stunning come from behind wins by Union.
What was the 2 years ago, 5-3?
Yeah, 91, 5-3. We'll tell you about that one after the 2nd and goal play from the 7. Tolles, touchdown! Adam Burke, the tight end. Look at the pom-poms.
Tiger fans have come out in large numbers to support their undefeated Tigers in this game.
This community supports their football team about as well as any community in the state. Win or lose. That was a big drive, Coach Haney, as Charlie Enix gets ready to attempt the extra point. On the hold, wide receiver Brian Shell, who was the starting quarterback last year. It's good.
A very big drive, Don, and a very important drive, we might add.
That did 2 things, or actually 3 things. Gave the offense some work with the quarterback Tolles. kept the defense off the field and got Phil Angeri's team back in the game.
This is a great pass in here that Tolles makes to Adam Burke. His tight end just a little over and down across the middle, and he knew where the goal line was and was able to get across it for the touchdown.
Now keep in mind the big play of that drive was the 42-yard connection from Jeremy Tolles to his older brother Chris. Jeremy's 6'2", 6'3". Chris is a little bit shorter, I believe. In fact, Jeremy used to tag along with his older brother at pickup games when they were kids. And after a while, as usually would be the case as you see the scoring drive, the younger brother was always the last one picked. But after a while, Jeremy outgrew Chris, and then they started picking Jeremy before Chris.
Don, you made a very good point. This gave the defense for Broken Arrow time to get their breath, and let's see what they can do here. You know they're going to want to get the ball back one more time.
Bernard at the 10, 30, flag down, 40, Bernard to the 50. Bernard will go all the way. Eric Bernard will scamper 90 yards for a kickoff return for a touchdown, but there's a flag back at the 20-yard line. Just like that, when BA got it to within 10 at 24-14, Bernard raced back, but we have a flag back, and they'll bring it back.
What a great run, though, as you follow Eric Bernard. Makes a great cut there, gets outside. And from there on, he's just on his own, Don. He just stiffs-arm people off and then actually outruns everyone once he gets to about the midfield stripe.
So really, that's about the first break that Broken Arrow has endured in this game. Let's take a look. We can see the block. 44, Leon Walker. Illegal block, chop block. You can't block below the waist on kick returns. So this puts Union clear back to the 11-yard line. As you see a look at penalties, which have mounted here in the first half.
59 yards for Union, 48 for Broken Arrow. Hard-fought game.
Bernard trying to go outside. Jared Level brings him down.
Both teams have had some breaks penalty-wise in the first half, Don, that's helped them.
7 yards, and that was not Bernard, but Chris Clavin. C-L-A-B-O-N. He's the backup running back. 5'10", 155-pound junior. Gain of 7, second 4, gain of 6. We got a flag down here. All kinds of movement in the line of scrimmage. Al Dietz will make the call. Remember, in this game, we told you about the poor field position Broken Arrow was getting. But here in the second period, they got the ball, or Union, I should say. Union getting great field position in the first period. In the second period, they've started at the BA 23, the BA 48. Here's their worst start of any drive at their own 11. And that penalty will move it back even farther. Second and 9. Back at the 12. Boy, did BA, which has a plus 10 in turnover ratio, like a turnover here. They go for the ball. They miss the tackle. Bernard's got a first down and more. Look out, he might do it again. Unbelievable. Eric Bernard to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown. Tiger fans are stunned. After BA gets back into the game, Eric Bernard electrifies the far side.
And he gets some good blocking to get into the secondary there. He just forces a missed tackle, cuts back across the grain, and then it's just going to be a foot race, and you're not going to catch him once he breaks out.
Bernard's third touchdown of the game, his 11th of the season. He trails only Richie Kalmus of Jinx as the conference's leading touchdown scorer. Bernard had some big touchdown runs, one of 55 yards against Washington in our season opener. We have a Broken Arrow player down. It looks like Tuya, Brandon Tuya, the nose guard, number 72.
Don't you imagine that Eric Bernard told his teammates, just give me the ball again and I'll take it the next time.
I don't know how he could do it. He had to be out of breath after running 90 yards for an apparent kickoff return for a touchdown. 2 plays later, they say, here, big boy, do it again. Tuya is the starting nose tackle. 6'3", 295-pound senior. Had a big week. Has had a great season. Had a big week last week when he had 15 tackles against Owasso. He really plugs up the middle. He's walking off rather gingerly.
Brandon Tuya.
So he'll probably be replaced by Tim Murphy, number 77, who starts at offensive tackle, 6'4", 295 senior. Can you believe this? 295. Here's a kid 305. What's going on? How these kids get so big?
Good food.
My father
early weight programs, I'm sure, as well.
I'm 6'1". My dad was about 5'10". They always asked about how I had the height and he didn't. He said, if I had eaten anything but beans in my lifetime, I would have grown a little bit too. Union 6 drives, scored on 5 of them as you take a look at the injury there.
Really hard to tell exactly what happened to him in there, where he got twisted around.
Ritter's PAT is good. 2:40 remaining first half. It's been up and down, coast to coast. And the Redskins get that 17-point lead back at 31-14. What a big play offense this Union team has.
They've got that double-barrel offense. They can throw it for the length of the field, and Eric Bernard, every time he touches it past the line of scrimmage, why, he certainly has the capability, Don, of going the length of the football field, which he has shown us twice here in the last 3 minutes. One counted, one didn't.
So after Bernard was denied the 90-yard touchdown return on the kickoff due to a penalty, he scores from 87 yards out. You know, earlier in the game, JB, when Union went for it on 4th down, it was 4th and 12 at the Broken Arrow 32. We were tied at 7, and they went for it on 4th down and got a first down. We'll talk about that because the Broken Arrow fans stood up as if to say, how dare you go for it on 1st down against the #1 ranked defense in the state. But I don't think it was so much Union saying that as much as it was saying, hey, we've got an excellent offense that we certainly have the most confidence in that can do it against anybody.
And, you know, you can say that, but it is so important and so much feeling went through, I'm sure, that offensive team when Coach Blankenship called the shot for them to do it. And you're absolutely right. If you believe in your offense, why, believe they can make it down there.
Irvin back into the game, and this pass dropped by Davis at about the 27-yard line. So Brett Irvin back in at quarterback after Jeremy Tolles led the Tigers to their 2nd touchdown, which they went 80 yards in 7 plays.
They're looking for another home run shot right here that they would really like to get down at least maybe in the next 2.5 minutes to get some more points on the board.
Nice fake. Mans has the ball and he gets 5-6 yards up across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Number 36 for Union, Corey Flager, who had an interception last week. 5'8", 160 defensive back. He's a senior in on the tackle.
Switches that football, cuts back across the grain. Feeling that pressure, taking care of the football in fine fashion.
It was Steve Davis, number 52. Here's a 3rd down pass. It's almost intercepted. Had Rashawn Greer, the quarterback, stepped up, he might have had an Oski.
Rashawn Greer then playing exceptionally well. Don reacting very quickly to the ball. 5'9", 158 pounds, just a little fellow.
Brett Irvin back into punt. His last punt, 22 yards, but it was partially blocked as he had to punt from the end line. Adam Burke then punted for him when Irvin was out of the game. Burke's punt for 32. Brett Irvin been very good on the hang time this year. His last punt, or his average 29 yards per punt on the season. Dustin Steele down immediately to 48, a flag down as well. Good for about 28 yards.
Certainly not the punting that we had seen out of Brent Irvin before, so I'm sure that there's his leg has to be bothering him.
I would think so.
Phil Langeri walks down and says a few words to him as he comes off the field.
Well, this Broken Arrow defense has forced turnovers this year. That's what, to me, has been one of the amazing things about this defense. +8 on the turnover ratio. And half of those have gone for touchdowns, at least half. Another penalty, this one against Union, moves them back to the 30-yard line, where they face 1st and 10. Justin Fuente, he's been on fire in this first half. Hands to Claiborne. Claiborne shows some speed as he gets out near the 45-yard line. He broke one for an 80-yard touchdown run against Ponca City a couple of weeks ago, number 28.
Chris Claiborne, only a junior, 156-pounder. He'll be stepping right in there to take care of Eric Bernard's position next year and getting a lot of valuable playing time.
15th first down of the game for Union, who calls a timeout. JB, we might mention for the Union and Broken Arrow fans that you can certainly listen to their football games on the radio. KQLL AM 1430 carries the Union games with former Metro coach Peck Clark and Forrest Cameron. And KAKC AM 1300 carrying the Broken Arrow games for the 3rd year with Steve Scott and Bill Belcher.
Don, I think we were visiting with Bill Blankenship this week, and I think that's great that both teams has a radio station covering them, because there were years until KAKC started covering Broken Arrow that you couldn't find in the metropolitan area of Tulsa a football game on Friday night. I think Sand Springs is not carrying their high school anymore. I don't think Sapulpa is, and you would have to get to Okmulgee before you could find a football game on a Friday night. So maybe that's a good turn. Maybe some more stations will step up and carry some more of the other teams around.
Union over 300 yards total offense in this first half. Justin Fuente is not done yet, is it? Dane Ivory down at midfield.
Ivory that time went down on one knee, but he just wanted to make sure that he caught the football. He wasn't going to try to do any heroics, just catch the football for the 5-yard gain.
Fuente in a game against Fort Smith Northside, JV, a couple weeks ago had 424 yards passing, which I find remarkable. I'll tell you why right after this. Steele can't catch up to that one at the 30. You look at the high school game, 8-minute quarters. You look at a pro game, which is twice that. They play twice as long a game as the preps, and yet Fuente threw over 400 yards in a prep game.
It's just incredible that he can get that many. The no-huddle offense has to give him more plays though per game, Don. I think you can count that in his favor.
Fuente pressured this time. Dustin Steele, first down, gets a great downfield block from Nathan Ritter, his other wide receiver, and Steele wiggles his way to the 35, a gain of 15, and another first down, the 16th of this first half.
And it looked like that time that he could be sacked and dropped for a loss, but Fuente has such athletic ability that he's able to just sidestep. You see number 50 coming in there, really coming hard at him, Joey Marks, but just wasn't able to get a hold of him. He sidestepped him, got away, had a completion.
I think another timeout by the Redskins, and their coach in his 3rd year, Bill Blankenship, And you know, another thing, JV, that I think really helps Fuente. This is his 3rd year of starting. And that gentleman, Bill Blankenship, has been his head coach all 3 years. Bill Blankenship was a great quarterback himself, an all-stater at Spiro. Grew up, his father was a head coach. Bill was a great student of the game at the University of Tulsa, long time alongside Dave Rader. Both of them very intelligent and know the game very well when it comes to the quarterbacking position.
No, I think you've made a very, very good point right there. Well, he runs some quarterback camps in the summertime, and the players have a lot of confidence in Bill Blankenship. He was very successful at Edmond, and I don't see the Union program ever falling off very much.
First down from the Tiger 35. There's a look at the total offense in this game. Chris Claiborne has added himself into the list. Look out. Chris Johnson saves a touchdown inside the 10-yard line. Stops the clock with 37 seconds left.
I'll tell you what, now Chris Claiborne showing some signs there of stardom himself. Don, great running, great elusive athletic ability.
27 yards down to the 8-yard line. Union calls their final timeout of this first half. 37 seconds remaining.
Had a chance to visit with Chris Claiborne's father about a couple of weeks ago, and he's extremely proud of the youngster. And one of the things that he says that he has to get those books first, and it's always great to hear a father talk about a great athlete to be. That first of all, it's going to be the academics, and then you can play football.
Something also rather interesting about these two schools, JV, is that a lot of the kids from Union live in the city of Broken Arrow.
Just a street will separate the districts.
A lot of these kids grew up together. A lot of these kids might have played Little League baseball together, actually worked together in certain businesses in the Union, Broken Arrow district. A lot of these players know each other very well.
Always I've thought a credit to both coaching staffs is the fact that they played so hard against one another, but it was always what I would consider a good, clean football game, and one in which when it was over, and that's what you like to see.
Claiborne, you saw his stats, averaged 16 yards per carry in this game. That's his season average on 12 carries on the year. Here's a little touch pass to Ivory. Wasn't that sweet? Boy, do they make it look simple. It's not. Believe me, it's not as simple as this team makes it look.
And what a key word you said there. It makes it look simple, but that was a very difficult lob pass that Justin Fuente makes to Dane Ivory. Was it Ivory that caught it, or was it
Ivory?
And then it was just almost, it's incredible.
They've had the ball, what, 7 times, and they've scored 6. The only time they didn't score is when the tight end, Gwilliam, got blasted, dropped the ball on a fumble. Chris Tolles picked it up, raced 70 yards. 33 seconds remaining in the first half. And it is Union 38, Broken Arrow 14. I'd have to say, even with the BA offense, I don't think they're out of it, because a couple of big plays will put you back in it.
Well, you certainly can't be too hard on your defensive players at that particular point, because McCarty wasn't beaten that bad. It was just almost a perfectly executed throw, and when you do it that way, it's very, very tough. About the time you think you can predict an outcome on the Union Broken Arrow game is the time that you're fooled.
Larry Davis watched this one sail into the stands. He and Mark Bresnahan, a sophomore, were back awaiting the kick. And so Broken Arrow will set up shop at the 20-yard line. And Jeremy Tolles will get in at QB. Broken Arrow, which has had a pretty good tradition of some pretty fine quarterbacks. Roger Burnett, I would think most feel, coaches I've talked to and some of the long-timers here in BA feel he was probably the best athletic quarterback. But they've certainly had a couple of good ones that could throw the football in recent years. Jimmy McCoy and Jeremy Fairchild. Here's Heathington for a yard. McCoy, in fact, is now the quarterback at Arkansas Tech, and they'll be in Tahlequah this weekend and meet Northeastern State. That's where another example of this great rivalry, because one of the starting linebackers for Northeastern State's Union product Bob Cole going against a former Broken Arrow player. So even though these two schools, or two players from these schools, leave their respective schools, they end up meeting each other in college. That's the end of the first half from Kirkland Field in BA, where their Union Redskins have jumped to a 38-14 lead heading to the locker rooms.
Rice, only a good energy food for the active athlete. No, it's also the best initial treatment for sprained joints. Are we advocating putting rice on a sprained ankle? Not exactly. You see, rice is a memory word for rest, ice, compression, and elevation, the best beginning treatment for injured joints. Apply compression carefully. Remember, a wrinkled or too tight ACE wrap can act like a tourniquet. Then elevate and rest the extremity and pack it in ice. When in doubt with any extremity injury, remember, ice is nice.
To continue your education or to begin your future, now is the time to enroll at Rogers State College. The look and feel of a traditional university with small, friendly classes for the personal touch. Whether you're seeking job training, career advancement, or to enhance the quality of your life, now is the time to enroll at Rogers State College.
Oh, I've always dreamed of a big family room.
Wow!
Call today. Communication Credit Union at 258-7646. The credit union for all of Broken Arrow.
I've always dreamed of a convertible sports car.
Call today. Communication Credit Union at 258-7646. The credit union for all of Broken Arrow.
Prep Sports. Don King, J.B. Haney back with you as we get ready for the second half. Broken Arrow will receive the kick, down 38-14. Fuente in that first half was unbelievable. Through 2 touchdowns. Eric Bernard, electrifying to say the least, 150 yards running and 3 touchdowns. And Larry Davis watches another sail over his head. Union kicking with the wind as we start the third period. And a look at the halftime statistics that really tell the story.
Really does, Don. 17-5 on first downs, 201 rushing to 42, and 164 to 69 in passing, all for Union. So that was really the whole story.
365 yards total offense for UHS. Brett Irvin starts the second half at quarterback. Hands off to Hevington, who gained over 900 yards a year ago. Gets a yard.
Very incredible stat there. 14 of 19 for Justin Fuente, 164 yards and 2 touchdowns. Eric Bernard, 14 carries, 152 yards, 3 TDs, and TD runs of 8-5 and 87 yards. That is double-barrel offense.
Broken Arrow's offense led by Jeremy Tolles, 4-4 passing, 57 yards and a touchdown, and his older brother Chris, getting Broken Arrow on the board first, picking up a fumble and returning it 70 yards. And here's Irvin's pass completion with Chris Tolles, good for 13 and a BA first down.
It was a good solid pass into that time by Brett Irvin. Looks like he was actually falling down as he released it, but was able to complete it to one of his favorite receivers out there, Tolles. You see him drift back in there. He's got good protection.
Andrew Kernan, one wide receiver to the near side. Split backs, Heathington and Mans, I believe it is. Pitch to Mans. Heathington looks for somebody to block. Can't block Daney too well, but nevertheless, Anthony Mans weaves his way for about 8 yards, up to about the 43-yard line. Jim Trickett says no, Don. Give him 9. 9 it is. Okay, Jim, 9 yards. I believe you.
And what a big series this is for Broken Arrow. They really need Don to take the ball down and put it in the end zone for 6. If they don't, and Union comes back, then it could really be a runaway. Some nice running in there that time by Anthony Mans.
It was 24-14 at one time, and then Union put 2 on the board late in the first half. Here's a bomb for Chris Tolles. Can't come up with it, and he'll be flagged for pass interference. Looked as though he pushed Patrick Pullum, number 33, to try and catch it. We'll take a look on the replay on 2nd and 1. Now, that was really an inexcusable mistake on 2nd and 1. You can't make mistakes like this on 2nd and 1.
Yeah, he just kind of pushed him out of the way right there, trying to catch up with it. I believe if he'd have let him go, it could have just hit him in the back, and he might have caught it on the ricochet.
Well, I guess in defense of Chris Tolles, maybe he was playing more pass defense there than trying to catch it. So it's a loss of a down as well on the interference, offensive pass interference, and makes it 3rd and 15. Moves the ball back just inside the 30. And because on 2nd and 1, if it's an incomplete pass, you got 3rd and 1. Much better deal. There are the penalties, and they've mounted up now for both teams. Union needs a big play. Tolles can't catch it off his fingertips. Pullum on the defense. He was right at the first down marker. It'll be 4th down.
Good coverage in that time by the Union secondary. You see Brett Urban trying to pick out his receiver there, double covered and almost picked off by Dane Ivory on the deflection.
Tony Baker, who's the starting center, will do the honors and snap it back to his starting quarterback, Urban, who comes into the game at 29 yards per punt. Broken Arrow punted 3 times in the first half. Union hasn't punted yet in the game. Dustin Still, their punter, awaits the kick, and boy, they were after Brett that time, weren't they? Short kick. It's near midfield. Down at the 47-yard line. That's a 18-yard, 20-yard punt for Brett Urban.
And they have just sent everyone on the punts. Certainly trying to disturb Urban, because when we saw him against Owasso, Don, it looked like some of his punts had about a 5-second hang time, but hasn't been that way tonight.
So again, Union starting in Broken Arrow territory. There are his season numbers.
And only 3 interceptions.
Look at this run by Claiborne. Chris Claiborne, what a job as he changes direction and then turns on the brother. Wow. The big play continues for the Redskins. A 48-yard scamper by the junior running back. Ritter's kick is good. He's got a field goal, and he's a perfect 6 of 6 on the night in PATs.
Here we get a good look at Chris Claiborne after he gets through the line out there. His lineman is down there with him. He cuts back across his brain, breaks an arm tackle there on Tolles, and once he gets out, he shifts that ball to the proper arm, and he's got a tremendous amount of speed.
This is the most points either school has scored against each other in this series. Union trying to win the 5th straight in this series. Union leads this series 6-3. This series started in 1983 in a playoff game in which Broken Arrow won a quarterfinal game, the state playoffs. They then played again in '86, and the series has been uninterrupted since. Here's the kick by Ritter. This one sails into the end zone. Ritter gets the aid of that nice breeze at his back. One play, 48-yard drive. Chris Claiborne, 48-yard run. It's a thing of beauty, his second touchdown run of the season.
The running back strength for Union will not fall off next year with the graduation of Bernard, because no doubt about it.
Of the top 30 players for Union, 23 are seniors. They really only have one sophomore that really plays much. And that's the quick side guard on offense, Steve Wiedauer. 1 yard on the play. I believe that was Heathington again, as Broken Arrow starts from the 20-yard line for the 6th straight time. Both of these schools well known for their prowess on the softball field, and the girls softball state tournament will be coming up soon. Irvin on the play action has a man wide open. Burke the tight end. First down to the 40. Then covers the football up wisely as he gets belted out of bounds at the 45-yard line. They'll mark it at about the 47.
Nice fake in there by Britt Irvin, and then the completion out in the flat. Adam Burke is tight end. Look at him tuck that ball. Good, sound, fundamental coaching.
Irvin, nice quick out here to Clay Ross. Tries to spin. Does so, but can't get away from the sure-handed Dane Ivory, 5'9", 145-pound right cornerback. The senior caught a touchdown in the first half out of his flanker position. He's the only two-way starter, 3-year player on this Union team. Into Union territory at the Union 48-yard line for a gain of 6. We mentioned girls softball. Choctaw's top ranked, favored to be the king of softball, or maybe I should say queen since it's girls softball. Nevertheless, Choctaw is the favorite going into the state tournament. But Broken Arrow has a chance under Jen Hillman, ranked 4th, and Union is ranked 9th. Meanwhile, in Class 4A, you have Nathan Hale, soon to be going for their 2nd straight girls softball crown.
Doesn't seem possible that the regular season is half over this week.
No, it doesn't.
This is a 5th game of the '94 high school season, and time has just really flown. We've seen some great ball games, though, Don.
We really have.
And we'll have more great ones ahead.
Well, next week we'll see this same Union team against the #1 ranked team in the state and defending state champion Jinx Trojans. And we'll be at Trojan Field for that one.
Jerry has to be disappointed right now, but he's a good coach. Don has done a great job here at Broken Arrow. I just hope the fans realize this is not the end of the season by any means.
I mentioned that game at Jinx. I beg your pardon. That Union Jinx game next week is at Union Tuttle Stadium. So my apologies to the Union people. Before you throw something at the screen, I will correct them. Anthony Manns scoots by Daney and gets out of bounds. Rashawn Greer, the cornerback, might have saved a touchdown. We got a flag down and just past the first down marker. He's being knocked out at about the 30-yard line. It'll be a gain of 18 and a first down if it sticks. Let's check the penalty flag.
Nice option pitch in there to Anthony Manns. He gets outside and is able to get a real nice gain for the Broken Arrow Tigers before he's finally taken out of bounds there by Rashawn Greer.
The ball's right at the 30-yard line, and I think this one might be going against the Redskins. might have been unnecessary roughness when they threw him. It appeared they might have thrown him against the fence. No, face mask against Broken Arrow. Face mask against Union.
Well, it was.
Setting penalties.
There was
personal foul then against Union.
There was a couple of linemen getting into it out there. Tim Murphy, I think, was one of them. I didn't catch the other one, Don, and it happened after the play had already come around the right end here. So just a little linemen talking to one another, trying to get each other's attention.
So the ball was at the 30.
Lee's kind of sorting it out with them.
We'll see if they tack it on from the 30 or if they bring it back to the line of scrimmage, and apparently they will. Dead ball penalty. On the offsetting penalties, you have to bring it back to the line of scrimmage to do the play over. But it was a dead ball personal foul against Union. So the penalty, or the 18-yard run by Mans, is wiped out due to the offset penalties. However, the 15-yard penalty against Union gives Broken Arrow a first down nonetheless. Instead of at the 30, they have it at the Union 34-yard line. So it cost them about 4 yards, all said and done. Union approaching the 100-yard mark in penalties. First man through, Heathington tries to slide to the outside, dives for a yard or two. 56, middle linebacker Matt Wilson, 5'11", 206-pound senior, makes the stop.
Matt Wilson just wouldn't give up on that one, Don. Once he made the contact, he just kept really coming at him, churning those feet and staying right after the ball carrier until he got him down.
After a gain of 3, second down from the Union 31. Urban fakes the quick pass and then unloads deep. Intercepted. The Redskins get the Oski from Roshan Greer, the 5'9", 158-pound senior left cornerback who is defending Chris Tolles.
We saw Phil Angeri escorting his quarterback off, patting him on the back. I think that's a great tribute to Coach Angeri, Don, is that he won't get down on those kids.
Phil, of course, an all-state end in 1964 at Nathan Hale, all-conference player at Northeastern State, longtime assistant, succeeding Gary Harper now at Berryhill. Bernard deep in his territory, inside the 5, and not much there.
Bernard, the ball carrier, will foul.
I thought the ball was in the end zone, but apparently not.
It's right near it. Good defensive play in there that time by Jared Lovell.
No gain, Jim Trickett says. Second 10 from the 3-yard line. Justin Fuente, 14 of 19 in the game passing. 164 yards and a couple of touchdown strikes. Trap play and nothing there.
Bernard, the ball carrier.
Again, apparently no gain. It'll be third down and long for Fuente and the Redskins, who lead in this game 45-14. 6.5 minutes to go, third period. They jumped out to a 7-0 lead. BA came back to tie it at 7 midway in the first period. Union scored late in the first period to make it 14-7. They went up 24-7. Then Broken Arrow cut it to 24-14 before Union has exploded to a 45-14 lead. This third down pass incomplete. And it appears that Fuente just threw that one away.
Well, he intended for Dane Ivory, and I think what was going through his mind, though, Don, was he wasn't going to take a chance of having that defensive player knife in front of him and intercept it, so he just got rid of it out there. Wasn't going to take any chances, and that's a smart quarterback.
Kids being recruited by Texas, Stanford, Tennessee, UCLA. Destin Steele is back for the first time tonight. Think they'll be coming after him?
I think they will.
He's averaging 33 yards a kick. Jeremy Tolles awaits the kick. John Brazier usually returns the punts, but he's been hurt. Tolles at the 42 to the 40, down to the 39.
Jeremy Tolles on the return. Number 79.
So this will be the best field position of the night. 39-yard punt, 3-yard return.
And that's just great downfield coverage on the part of the Union Redskins. And one of the things both coaches were talking about before the game was the execution of the special teams play, and it always proves to be very important.
Irvin hands to Heathington, who skips to the outside, gets a first down. That's his best run of the night. He is stopped by Bernard, who's in at cornerback. Bernard's the second team right corner.
And credit Brett Irvin with a great fake that time.
Gain of 12. 9th first down of the game for Broken Arrow.
Heathington making some good moves once he got past the line of scrimmage, but Irvin that time really putting a ball right in the pocket, and then as he withdrew it, a good carry out fake.
Nice pitch to Mans. Nice block, Heathington. Chad Daney helps out on the cause. Greer finally pushes him out. Mans gets 6 on the play, down to about the 22-yard line. Stops the clock with 5:17 remaining.
Second down, 3.
Britt Irvin, the quarterback, takes a pretty good shot. You see it right here. Just as he makes the pitch, he takes a shot almost every time in there. That one wasn't very solid, but in the past, he's taken some good ones.
Wide side of the field is the left. Instead, Irvin, quarterback sneak up the gut. Look out! Touchdown! Beat up! Charlie Enix, the senior kicker, who has a 41-yard field goal this year, will put one in the tree. I wonder how many of them get stuck up here.
Well, we saw one get stuck during the warm-up, and the Union coaches almost wore their arms out trying to get it down.
The most points ever scored in this series. This is the 10th game of this great series between these two schools, two of the 3 largest schools in the state. John Phillips there in the middle of your picture, the T-shirt, standing up in the aisle, the Broken Arrow basketball coach. Already talking hoops, isn't he?
Yes, he is. John Phillips, one of the great high school basketball coaches in the state. Doing a great job here with the Tigers. A lot of success at Edison High School and at Stillwater.
.39 yards, 3 plays. Irvin on the 22-yard touchdown run. I think a nice call there by the offensive coordinator, Greg Whiteley. He must have seen something.
Brett got through there very, very quickly. He was in the secondary beyond the line of scrimmage immediately.
Irvin, who has thrown 3 touchdown passes this season, scores his 3rd touchdown on the ground. And Enix's kick is high but not far. Taken at the 5th, well, inside the 20 to about the 15. He wouldn't again, would he? Eric Bernard up to the 38-yard line. 23-yard return.
What a double shot they have back there with Chris Clavin and Eric Bernard. They just don't drop off.
Dustin Steele's not too shabby either when he gets his hands on it.
No, he really isn't.
Returning punts.
And that no-huddle offense, they're in business.
Leon Walker trying to sneak in there.
Missed his timing.
But the transfer from Killeen, Texas called for encroachment, and that'll move Union up 5 past the 40 to the 43.
First down 5.
Fuente 0 for 1 passing in this second half, 14 of 20 in the game. Look at Walker come through there again. Slows Bernard up for a moment. Or rather, Gullett, number 29, gets some help from Johnson, one of the outside linebackers. Not before Bernard gets about 10 and what might be a first down. He needed 5.
Breaks a tackle in there. You just can't arm tackle him.
First down, Redskins. Ball up to 48.
We saw Bernard in his game, the season opener against Washington. So this is no surprise to see this kind of effort as far as returning kicks, catching the football. He leads them in receptions, has one here to midfield, 45, doubles the football. Tigers might have it. McCarty says they do, and they do indeed. Eugene's fired up. The Tiger fans are fired up. We got a PA player down near midfield. He's going to get up all right. That's Leon Walker. Well, that's unusual, Coach Haney, to see Eric Bernard cough up the football.
You know, we're completely across the field from it, Don, but looked like he took quite a blow right in there on the football. We'll get an opportunity to see in the replay here as he first gets around level there and suddenly come in. No, looked like maybe that who was in there, 38, probably just Jason Ward got his hand up in there and jerked it loose.
And it was Chris Tolles who recovered the fumble, his second of the night. There are your first downs. Broken Arrow again, good field position. Stuffed at the line of scrimmage is Anthony Manns. No gain, might have lost a foot or so. Lost about a foot. We'll say no gain from the 44. Brian Shell, number 10, is one of the receivers for BA. I don't know if he's in there. I don't know. He is not, but he used to quarterback before Irvin beat him out, so keep that in mind. They could bring him in for the old end-around pass. Irvin back to pass. Looks for Davis. Davis has speed. Can't catch that one over the wrong shoulder.
Nice defense in there by Roshan Greer that time. But Don, you look at the score, 45 to 21, and had Broken Arrow been able to sustain this drive, completed this pass, and got a score, why, it's never over till it's over. I know that's old, but you just can't count anyone out.
Well, you take away the big home run plays, an 87-yard run in the second quarter by Bernard. You take away the 48-yard run by Claiborne in this third quarter. Irvin will run. First down, and the ball pops loose into the arms of a Tiger. Did the offensive lineman hang on to it? Union says they have it. The official says otherwise. And usually in that case, you go with the official.
And it's going to be close, if not a first down, depending on the spot.
77, Tim Murphy recovered the ball. 6'4", 295-pound offensive tackle, two-year starter on that offensive line. Irvin got sandwiched right at the first down marker.
You see, he really neutralized that defense when he put that hand up, but gosh, he gets caught in there. There's about 4 or 5 of them on him.
Both teams have turned it over twice. Union's fumbled twice. It's a first. Union has fumbled the ball twice. Broken Arrow's thrown a couple of interceptions in this game. First down, nevertheless, at the Union 46-yard line. Third period, 2:45 remaining. Ross in motion. To the left, Chris Tolles to the right. Heathington 22, Mans number 4, the running backs. Heathington slips through, 40, 35, 25-yard line, and a nice run by Kelly Heathington. 5'10", 170-pound junior who had a couple of touchdowns a couple of weeks ago in Bartlesville. One of them included recovering a blocked punt in the end zone, a gain of 21.
And you'll see some hard running in here by Heathington on this particular play. As he gets outside the right side, just lowers right there and goes right on over top of Roshan Greer before finally being forced out of bounds. He's running like he's mad.
Gets it again. Gets about 5. Well, the Tigers are showing some pride here, JB. A defense that had given up just 1 touchdown in their first 4 games, as we have an injured player, number 70, defensive left tackle Derek Collins, 5'7", 220-pound senior. There have been some hard knocks in this game, and he looks to be in a lot of pain. His right leg, right ankle. Both of these teams will come out of this thing banged up.
Yes, that is for sure. And Union, of course, having to face Jinx next week. What a schedule that the Union Redskins have had to face.
Broken Arrow, not any easier. They'll play Muskogee at the Indian Bowl next week, and then Jinx in 2 weeks. Let's take a look at what might have happened in the middle of this. Number 70. That's 70 there, Collins, I think.
Yeah, you could see his right leg getting caught under one of his teammates in there. Oh, goodness, that hurts to look at.
Heathington on the carry, advanced 5 yards to the Union 20-yard line. Now, the schedules don't get any easier in what has been claimed as the toughest district, the toughest league in the state, Class 6A, District 3. You've got 5 of the 8 teams state ranked right now, and all certainly capable of going to the state playoffs. Unfortunately, one of them will not.
You know, that's really sad, Don, when you look at it. The fact that Owasso, Muskogee, Union, Jinx, Broken Arrow, only 4 of them can go. One of them will have to set home.
So Collins unfortunately helped off the field. We'll try and get his replacement in a moment.
Richard Lausch giving a little lecture to both lines down there.
2nd and 5. Heathington might have coughed it up. Union says they have it. And they do. That's the 3rd turnover on BA, the 2nd in this 3rd quarter. Rhett Grimes recovers the football. The senior defensive left end.
And all the exchange there, those Union Redskin offense just comes right up to the line of scrimmage and ready to go. No huddle.
Fuente back in at QB. Hands off. Bernard back in at running back. Boy, he just uses his block so well. He gets past midfield. A gain of 30 plus. 33 to the BA 45.
You know, when he gets right out to the corner, it looks like that he might be going to cut back in. And you talk about utilization of blockers. You'll see him just drift to the outside and pick up Dane Ivory, the last of the wide receivers right there. Dane comes in, gets around there, picks up another 12, 14 yards just by utilizing his blockers.
20th first down of the game for Union. And they go right back to the machine.
And if he gets tired, why, you know, they can bring in Chris Clavin and just keep that machine going. Which looks like Eric Bernard maybe got hit in the stomach, holding the arm, I think, now.
He's just worn out.
right to be, doesn't he?
He got about 9.5. Second and short. And they'll wait on the yard marker.
He got carried away with it, didn't he?
I don't know what he was doing. He was daydreaming, and that's unusual because he's been moving that thing downfield all night long.
That's right.
Ivory and Steele are the wideouts to the left for Fuente. They go power left. Claiborne. Flag down. Claiborne almost down. Dives inside the 30. Chris Tolles grabbed an ankle. It was worthy of the tackle, but not before he got 10, but it'll be brought back. Broken Arrow Band performing. You can hear them in the background. Tom Stout and his 275-member band putting on an extraordinary performance here at halftime. It's hard to find two better bands in the state than Union and Broken Arrow.
You're absolutely right there, Don, and the drill teams that accompany the bands are just remarkable. Great organization, great talent among the kids, and a lot of dedication by parents and the school administration as well to have groups like that represent your school.
After the penalty, 2nd and 8 from the 44-yard line. A Broken Arrow. There's a tackle in the backfield. Joey Marks, number 50, comes on. The 5'11", 225-pound defensive end who's been playing quite a bit the last couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks. He's been one of the big surprises on this team, and they're real happy about him. Pat McGrew, the defensive coordinator, is because he's a junior.
Not often will you see Justin Fuente sacked, but a great move in there by Jared Lovell that time in throwing him for a loss.
Takes us to the end of the 3rd period from Kirkland Field. Union and Broken Arrow trading touchdowns in this 3rd period. As we head to the 4th, it's number 6 ranked Union ahead of 5th ranked Broken Arrow 45-21.
Can a 30-second commercial convince you that one bank treats you better than the rest? These folks definitely can. So come by any State Bank location, compare us to your bank, and may the best bank win.
Back to action, 3rd and 13, and Fuente strikes over the middle to Dustin Steele, and then he turns what would be a first down at about a 15, 16-yard gain into about 10 or 15 more yards. These guys are so dangerous when they catch the football.
And they get downfield so quickly. The offensive line again doing a great job, and he just goes down there and curls right back into the middle and wide open.
25 yards on the pass play. 21st first down of the game. They had 17 at halftime. Here they get a run from Claiborne, C-L-A-Y-B-O-N. He picks up 4 to make it 2nd and 6 from the Broken Arrow 19-yard line. Union came into this game 2nd in the state, Class 6A in offensive scoring. Here's a quick out to Ivory. Not a bit of quit in either team, isn't it?
No, there isn't, Don. And that's a good way to express it. There is not one bit of quit. They are still giving it 100%.
Another first down for Union.
Talk a lot about Fuente, but you can't say enough about that stable of receivers he has out there.
First down from just outside the 10-yard line. Justin looking for his 3rd touchdown pass of the day, and he has it. Avery catches his 2nd of the evening, but we have a flag down.
The flag on the play.
No signal yet from the officials. Here's Hal Dietz to give us the signal.
Touchdown, Redskins.
Dead ball foul against BA. They'll decline the penalty, take the touchdown of 10 yards. Ritter will try another extra point. He's had a busy night. Came into this game with 17 PATs. And he's just added his 7th of the evening. Just a nice little curl that gets into the end zone in there by Dane Ivory, and he splits out on the play before that to the right, comes back on the left-hand side and gets him another 6 points. 10:47 to go, 52-21, and Don, if someone had said there would be 73 points scored going into the 4th quarter, I would have just not believed it. I wouldn't have either.
I don't know why I'm believing it now, but I guess it is.
Most points against BA since Booker T put 38 on the board in the first round of the playoffs a year ago. Last year, Union beat Broken Arrow 35-8. Broken Arrow turned it over numerous times and really gave Union great field position. Here's Larry Davis at the 5, 10, 20, 25. He's exciting, isn't he? Glad they've got him back in action. I know that Boyd Jerry and his crew is as well. Larry Davis, who caught 7 touchdowns a year ago. There's a scoring drive. 79 yards and 7 plays. Ball rests at the 32-yard line after the 27-yard return by Davis. Union now over 500 yards in total offense as Heathington bounces to the outside again. And gets bulldogged down. 6-3. Dustin Steele comes up from his rover position to make the tackle. Next week, we'll have the pleasure of watching this Union team against top-ranked Jinx.
Heathington has certainly redeemed himself as far as picking up yards is concerned here in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Remember last week he came out with what we thought was a shoulder injury. He didn't play much of the first half, but actually he had a huge piece of skin taken off the top of his hand and missed a couple of days of practice even this week. Larry Davis scoots up near midfield, has his first catch of the game, I believe. That's good for a first down.
That's certainly a quick hitting play by the Broken Arrow Tigers. Brett Irvin just takes a couple of steps back and catches Davis flashing across the middle.
Here's your total offense tonight. Isn't that something?
512 yards. Union
Wow.
is piled up to 259 for Broken Arrow.
This is Brandon Robinson, number 30. Robinson, number 30, has been a 2-year player on this team. He's a senior, 5'10", 170 pounds. Came into this game where he'd run the ball just 4 times, but a nice run here. He's averaged 8.5 yards a carry. He picks up 9.
And that was certainly a nice run there.
Irvin airs it out. Too long for Davis. On 2nd and 1, nice call to make it 3rd and short.
Pretty tough to get past Roshan Greer, but you know he's not very tall, and they're attempting to do the correct thing by lobbing it over top of him, but it has to be a pretty near perfect strike in order to do it. Bill and Jerry pacing the sideline over there. Sure wanted to get this one.
Sneaks for the first down.
Irvin, keeper. First down, Broken Arrow.
This is the most points scored against Broken Arrow since Muskogee beat Broken Arrow at the end of the 1988 season. 65-20 was that final. Another BA first down. That's their 14th of the game and their 9th in this second half. Here's a look at the first down.
That really is 17-5 first and 5 in the second half, 10 for Broken Arrow, but 17-5 in that first half was rather dominant. It was a great run in there by Kelly Heathington on that last play. What a spin. He's got it again.
Look at him carry that defender on the tackle. Number 11, Derek Duval, 5'9", 145-pound junior. Heathington's close to another first down. It'll be a yard shy to make it 2nd and 1 from the Union 16. By the way, congratulations to Broken Arrow homecoming queen from last week. We failed to mention her name, Lindsay Hayworth. She was crowned last week. Her sister Mandy was the homecoming queen 2 years ago. BA1 and homecoming as Adam Burke catches his 2nd touchdown of the game. Nice pass from Irvin to Adam Burke. And the 6'2", 195-pound senior tight end has his 2nd touchdown catch of the game. And that's his 3rd of the season. 16 yards out. Enix gets a late kick, and it is good.
Looked like a great fake in there that time on the touchdown by Kelly Heathington. We'll get a good look at the replay as Irvin lays it off out there. Actually, it was to Heathington, and he comes back around his tight end wide open in the end zone. But the fake set it up, but obviously the defense was well aware of Kelly Heathington because they certainly keyed on him.
Yeah, well, even though Hevington didn't score the touchdown, he certainly had some nice runs of 15 and 9 yards to set up the touchdown pass on the previous 2 plays.
That was a great call into that time.
Broken Arrow moving 68 yards in 8 plays for their second touchdown of this second half.
4 minutes and 8 seconds that was used up was very critical. There's just not enough time left for them to take the ball and drive it. They're going to have to score in fewer minutes, but that was a beautiful drive by the Broken Arrow Tigers.
6:39 remaining. BA sets up for the onside kick. And Enix obliges. Nice bounce. You always get a nice high hop on that second one. Look at Ivory. He says, I'm not going to roll down or lay down. I'm going to run for it. And Enix slings him out of bounds inside the 40.
Ivory on the return.
I don't think I've ever seen a team, JV, a 17-yard return by Ivory that has so many weapons.
They really do, Don. And that was a 17-yard return north-south and about a 60-yard return east-west.
Ball to 37-yard line. 6.5 minutes to go in the game. 52-28. We have a new quarterback in the game. Como is the new quarterback who hands off to Clayton.
On the carry. Chris Como is the new quarterback.
Como is the new quarterback. C-O-M-E-A-U-X. 5'11", 165 junior.
Second down,
Comes
6.
into this game having thrown 1 pass. It was good for 7 yards. Claiborne's good for about 5 on that last carry. Dustin Steele is also the also a quarterback on this Union team. They certainly don't need him in this situation, and he airs it out to the first down marker, maybe a yard shy. Jeremy Tolles on the stop, and on the catch, Patrick Holloway, senior wide receiver.
Excellent fake in there by Como that time.
Jeremy Tolles
really looked it off and rolled out with it, and defense was following his fake.
Third and 2. First down, Claiborne to the 25.
The ball carrier.
Maybe looking at the 1-2 punch of Union for next year.
Well, no, when John Nickel quarterbacked this Union team to the state semifinals his senior year, he will now play baseball at ORU. But when Nickel left, I'm sure there were a lot of Union people wondering what was going to become of this program at quarterback. But Justin Fuente has certainly answered that. And this Claiborne could certainly be answering all questions now about the running back. 9 yards on the play. You know, there were a few years when Union really struggled, it seemed like, at the running back position, wasn't it? I mean, they really couldn't find. They always seemed to have the pretty good quarterback, good athlete at quarterback, but just couldn't quite find a real strong running back. But that's changed now with Bernard.
Really has changed, and it's strengthened both sides as far as passing and rushing is concerned.
Ball at the 16. Quarterback wants to get in the act, and look out, he might score. Touchdown. Touchdown, Como, his first varsity touchdown. 16 yards out, but they'll bring it back. So that's the second touchdown in this game that Union will have nullified thanks to an offensive penalty. Producer
Get a good
Julie.
look at Como here as he comes down, almost falls there, Don. He's a tremendous athlete. Yeah, there's not much doubt about the hole. It was slipping off in there, you can see, but great run.
And now another penalty. Producer Julie Coursier and director Vod Vest were all over that one. They were jumping up and down. You could hear them in the truck. We see the hole. Here's another penalty against Union.
Looked like kind of a chicken wing hole to me.
You've been hanging around Jerry Billings too long. Former wrestling coach.
That's right. That's one of the favorite holes, the chicken wing.
I like to eat them. I don't know if... Look at the penalties tonight. Wow. Almost 200 yards in penalties. Como, straight back. Throws the screen in a bad situation. And it is dropped by Douglas after he fumbled it. And Union gets it back at midfield. 2 turnovers on 1 play. That pretty much, we've seen it all in this one.
I tell you what, we have seen it all in this one, Don. I mean, Union has it, Broken Arrow has it, Union has it.
Brian Douglas intercepts it, then fumbles it, and it's recovered, I think, by Brett Craig.
Looks like it's just almost stolen from him, and it flips outside. Now you're sure Broken Arrow is going to have it there? Nope, the ball squirts out again.
Douglas picks off the pass, and then he can't hold on to it. First down and 10 from near midfield. Bill Angeri thinks it ought to be, shouldn't be first down. Should be 2nd and long, but a weak case on his part. Handoff, trap, Claybon, who's already scored a touchdown from 48 yards out, gets about 7 or 8 yards. Brandon Tuya, who's been limping on a sore ankle all night, makes the tackle downfield after the gain of 7. Well, Bill Blankenship will run his record to 3-0 against Broken Arrow. And overall now in his 3rd year, 21-7. And he's had Union in the playoffs both seasons. And looks to be on his way. Season number 3. Como has a man open, but just over the head of the tight end, Jeff Park.
Pass intended for number 89 is overthrown.
And next week, the Redskins will have a showdown with Jinx that could very well, even though it will be just the 6th week of the season, could very well decide the district championship.
Well, I don't think, Don, without question, that the winner of next week's game between Union and Jinx will certainly be in the driver's seat. But Jinx has to play Broken Arrow. They have to play Muskogee. They have to play Owasso. They've got some pretty tough ones coming in at the end of the season.
And I don't think Tahlequah is capable of maybe getting into the 1st division and maybe playing getting into a playoff spot in this league. But I think Tahlequah has shown that they're capable of possibly upsetting somebody in this league as well.
And some of the coaches say that Tahlequah is the type of a team that is getting better as they go along, and you can look at the 6A3 standings right there. 2 undefeated teams with Broken Arrow and Jinx as far as overall games, but 4 going into tonight's ball game undefeated in district play.
.24 first downs on the night for Union. Here's a first down play from 35.
And Union getting a lot of experience from some of their kids that jerseys are not dirty, so they haven't been in the game.
Union, they spread you out on offense, so they just give you that illusion that they're going to throw the ball on almost every down. And then they hand off to Bernard. And he did some damage in this game. And so is this gentleman, the junior, Claybon. Nice tackle by Lavelle, but Chris scoots downfield inside the 30 to about the 28 for 6 yards. Minute 38 remaining. There's a look at Claiborne. The work he's done tonight.
145 yards, 1 TD on 13 carries. That's not a bad average.
Coming into this game, Broken Arrow had given up a total of 560 yards in their first 4 games. They've given up that much tonight in this one game. No gain on the last play. Prep football brought to you by State Bank.
Flag on the play. Personal foul is the call.
By RSC TV, Rogers State College Television. By Eastern Oklahoma Orthopedic Center and Sports Medicine Center, the William Medical Building. And by the Williams Companies. A lot of those people have been with us from the beginning, which started in, what, 1988? First down Redskins after a 15-yard penalty personal foul, dead ball foul against Broken Arrow. First down from the Broken Arrow 13. Como, the quarterback, who had a touchdown run called back a moment ago. Hands off to a new running back. That's Josh Dupler, D-U-P-L-E-R, 5'7", 140-pound senior. He played a little bit last year. And he gets his first carry of the game. And his first carry of the game, or of the season, rather. Picks up a couple as we're down to the final 30 seconds. This will probably be the last play. We'll have one more play coming up. Union jumped out to a 7-0 lead. Broken Arrow came back on another defensive play to tie it at 7. Broken Arrow went up 24-7. Union went up 24-7. Broken Arrow cut it to 24-14. Midway second period, it looked like we had a game until Eric Bernard broke loose for an 87-yard run. And then Union scored a touchdown with 33 seconds left in the first half. And it was all over, it appeared at that point, 38-14. And it was certainly over when Claiborne broke loose 48 yards for a touchdown early in the third period to make it 45-14. And this one will end with the 6th-ranked Union Redskins winning their 5th in a row over the Broken Arrow Tigers by a final score of 52-28. For producer Julie Corsier, for director Bob Fest, statistician Jim Trickett, and the rest of our Channel 9 crew, including J.B. Haney, I'm Don King. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you, and inviting you to join us next week when these same Union Redskins will meet the Jinx Trojans for what could be the district championship. We'll see you next week on TCI Cablevision of Tulsa.
Redskins will be at home with Jinx next week.
Move towards God at this point. Yes, it's the Holy Spirit doing the work in you, if you're allowing that to happen. But you're being blessed in the sense of moving forward. At this point, you are willing to accept God and trust Him more fully in your life. Meekness has to do with, in that recognition of your inability, your own personal inability and what sin has done, now saying, God, you do it. God, I'm willing to trust you and follow you. God, I'm willing to accept the principles that you lay down. I'm willing to walk on and trust in those. Let me assure you that if you trusted God fully, you would not sin. Let me repeat that. I've got a few people to look up. If you really trusted God completely, you would not sin. If you believed fully